Hello, baby friend. JR and I are hanging out tonight. Mommy is at some dinner thing. So JR and I had pizza dinner because we love pizza, right, buddy? And now we're having a little run amok time. Trying to make the house as messy as possible for when Mommy gets home, right, JR? Yeah. He likes this thing. He likes taking all the paper out of it. No, I don't think we're going to take anything out of here. This is a good closet. This one's fine. The stuff in there is okay. Thank you. Also likes ripping up the newspaper. Careful, buddy. Careful. Bye. Oh, bye. So we somehow got through bath time, his least favorite thing ever. So now I get to chase him around for a little bit before trying to get him to go to bed, which is something he does not want to do ever these days. And today he didn't take, well, he took one nap. He was up from 7 a.m. until 4:30 p.m. No naps at all. And then he napped for about an hour. So I don't know what's going on with him, but he doesn't sleep anymore. And it's not like he's tired looking, he's like wide awake, but there's no way that he's not tired. So JR just went to bed. It was quite the struggle. So now I'm out here in the shop, still waiting for Lindsay to get home. And I'm trying to get through a few things that I've meant to do for a long time. So like 3 or 4 weeks ago, the company called MiterSet, they sent me their miter gauge setting jigs, asking me if I wanted to be an affiliate of theirs. I figured for an affiliate thing, it's not that big of a deal as far as work goes. If someone wants to buy this product and they use my link, then I get a little part of that sale. Now, before I commit to that, I need to actually make sure that this is a good product and all that fun stuff. So I need to try it out for myself, and I still haven't had a chance to do it. So tonight I'm going to do a few test cuts to make sure this thing actually works. The videos I've seen so far, it does work like ridiculously well, so that's a good thing. And I can finally get back to this guy and get that off my list because I'm behind on a lot of things like this. So I'm gonna try to do a few test cuts. I have the segment jig, so if you want to cut a ring, you can use the pin locations here to create a ring of whatever a number of segments you want. I also have the standard just miter angle setting jig as well. What I'm really curious about this one is how accurately it can set the same exact angle to either side of 90 degrees, because that is one of the hardest things to do. And that's why I don't cut my angled tenons on the table saw. I always clean them up to the line with the chisel. So I'm gonna give those few test cuts a go, I guess. Yeah. And of course, it'll only be a moment before I can find my my miter gauge. Of course. Oh, here it is. That wasn't too bad. So when I first got this, and the only thing I've done this for so far is setting the miter gauge to 0 degrees. Something I didn't really think of when I first agreed to take a look at this thing, but you put the 2 pins in whatever thing you want, you drop the miter gauge into the groove, and then, come on. My miter gauge is all stiff in this thing here. Come on. It's hard to do one-handed, I guess. There you go. So then you push it forward until it touches the pins and lock it down, and that sets the angle. So this is zeroed out essentially. So I'm going to try one at 10 degrees and see how that goes. So of course this would be much better tested on a wider workpiece because then the margin of error would be more pronounced, but I figured I could try it on something a little smaller because that's what I would typically use anyway. I don't really do really wide pieces for angle joinery. So what I'm going to try and do is sneak up and get this cut to be halfway through the piece, and then we'll see if there's any deviation in the lines from top or bottom. Alright, so now I can flip the pins around the other side of 90. Negative 10 degrees, I guess, instead of positive 10 degrees, whatever. Drop back in here. Try and loosen this thing. And then slide it into the pins. Come on, there we go. Alright. I'd say that's pretty darn good. The consistency from one side to the other is very good, like perfect. So that means that this thing is able to set the angles exactly the same, or within this margin of error, the same on both sides of 90, which is awesome. Now of course I can figure out the actual error by using a much wider workpiece, but for practical applications, this is really good. I think I'll see if I have any scrap to make a segment. Alright, so I'm set up for a 6-segment ring. So these are at 30 degrees. Well, we'll see. And I cut this little strip of whatever this is, MDF. I'll use that to make my segments. I've got stop blocks for all the same length, so I should be able to make a ring. And I'll just trim off this little angled bit on the end to get started. That's just part of the scrap. Alright, let's give this a little try here. I think I might have something wrong with my setup because I have this pretty big gap there. I'll try it again. Alright, there's my second test. That is much better. That's how it's supposed to be. So maybe, I don't know what happened with that one. Maybe I didn't, something was up with my setup. I don't know. But anyway, that's a pretty slick little thing. So, you know, whether or not it's worth the money for someone, I have no idea. Definitely good if you're doing a lot of angle stuff though. You want a quick way to set that miter gauge though. So I'm not going to get back to this guy about this. Take that one off my list. And then later on tonight I'm going to get back to drilling the rest of the runners. Or we'll see how many more I can drill. If I can drill another 1 or 2 tonight, that'd be good. Get a couple more of those all the way so I can move forward with the sawmill project and get that out for a video this week. And I can get that frame painted and hopefully have a second video for this week. And in the meantime, I'm just spinning this wheel because I can't stop spinning this thing. It's so much fun to just come over here and spin the wheel. I love this thing. But I think that's about all I have for today. Thank you as always, and I'll see you next time, tomorrow, whenever that is.